Beth, you're in my bed.
This is my bed.
No, I sleep here.
But this is my bed, Tom.
Why are we in a studio? This is really weird, Beth.
It's okay, Tom. You're just
Oh my
dreaming.
goodness. Well, if this is a dream, then I think we should just get on with the show.
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Speaking of,
Let's do it.
welcome to the Dream Team.
Welcome, everyone. This is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah. So normally we're on the radio. We sit in Studio Blue in the dark
Yeah.
and we talk about dreams.
The dark's important, isn't it? Because it gets us nice and ready for bed. Because we sometimes talk about things that get us really rattled up, riled up. And today's no exception.
No.
It's quite a big one today, isn't it?
Yeah. The theme of today's episode is going to be grief and death.
Woo! Yeah, we've got a great show planned for you today. We're going to keep it light, though, hopefully.
Well, it's meant to be in a positive way. It's not like how many panic attacks you have in the night.
No one's counting.
No, no one's
Especially not in this
count.
bed. No one counts.
No.
Right, that's a bit weird. I don't know.
Nothing counts.
So where do we start?
Well, so the reason I picked this theme was there's a film out currently starring Andrew Scott called All of Us Strangers. And it's about him returning to his childhood home after his parents have passed away, only to find them still there.
Right.
And it's him experiencing and talking with his parents after they've passed. And the director has done a series of interviews talking about how it was inspired by their own life and their experience in their dreams, having dreams about their loved ones.
Perfect for us.
Yeah,
Very
and
nice.
it then it's like a lot of people, there seems to be a common theme of after people passed away, people have dreams about their loved ones.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any strange experiences like that?
Yeah, I think I have. I had very sadly. I mean, this is the strange thing about this theme, isn't it? It's got
Yeah.
some sadness in it. I was very close with a friend of mine, but then he popped up in my dreams. So I've had experience of this. Have you, Beth?
It's like I've had dreams of lost relatives when I was really young.
Yeah.
Not recently. It was like when I was like 7 or 8, something like the early dreams. It's
wow.
like because I was really close with my mum's mum.
Yeah.
And it's just so it was like I'll have dreams of being in her house, and we used to do this game where we pretend to I'd be a librarian, and I was a really strict librarian, but she would be like my customers, and she'd always bring me back her books on time, and we just play library in her house,
Oh,
and I just I'd
nice.
have those dreams where I was playing that game again, and then I would wake up and it would be like, oh, no longer
Yeah.
able to play librarian.
Here's the thing, though. Do you still have those dreams where you're playing librarian now?
No.
I was going to say, because I feel like the capacity of that game is very much for sort of younger kids. Whereas
Yeah.
if I played librarian now, I think I'd probably fall asleep. I don't,
Yeah,
don't know how
right?
you feel. I used to play Pirates with my gran,
Aw.
but it was in a post office.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like sort of an interesting kind of situation there. So I can see where you're going, with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's just, I think it's an interesting thing because it's like when we look at the past topics where we've discussed, a lot of the common themes that have come out of our show has been like anxiety dreams. And I guess that this is kind of tied to that because it's the anxiety of losing people. Like, when I mentioned this topic, a lot of people were saying like, oh, I've had dreams where this has happened to me or this has happened to someone I know. And it's that kind of like fear. And that's what all those negative emotions are kind of rooted in love.
Yeah.
And nothing kind of expresses that more than grief when it's the same thing because grief is just love lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's an interesting topic.
Interesting topic, and I'm sure lots of people are going, where are they going to go with this?
Yeah.
Because we've sort of nosedived into sadness, and now we need to bring it
Well,
back up again.
if you follow YSTV on social media, you will have noticed that we asked for some dreams to be sent in.
We did.
The first dream is sticking with this topic.
Okay.
The others are not. So
Brilliant.
let's move on to our first dream. And I call this one The Mundane Mother's Meeting from Gillian Trayford.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this writing dream, it is a recurring dream where Gillian is sitting in a place she doesn't know
Okay.
or recognise and isn't sure how to get there. And she's with her mother, who has passed away. And they just sit there and they just chat and they like cook dinner together and they do normal things. And then she wakes up and she has no idea where that house has come because we've talked previously about how you can't like make up faces in your dreams. You have to have already seen them. And it's just a place she has no idea where it is, nowhere to get there, but she's there. And when she's there, she's with her mum.
Well, that's really sweet,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
isn't
really
it?
sweet.
It's very nice. I'd love to know what that house looks like in detail. And I wonder if it's got parts of houses that perhaps, mean something to the pair of them or did mean something to the pair of them. I
If it
wonder.
was like her childhood home, you'd think there would be details she would recognise.
Yeah, but even like sort of similarities of like, the staircases in sort of the same place or
Yeah.
something like that. Do you know what I mean? Very interesting, but very nice to be able to spend time with her again, I'm sure, because I think that's the nice thing about these things. It doesn't have to be a scary stressful experience when you have a dream like this, because you can have time with that person, which is really nice, isn't it?
And sometimes, because often when you lose people you're close to, you wish you could talk to them again and you wish you could hear their voice. But sometimes it's because when you're close with someone, they're willing to say the things you're sometimes too scared to say to yourself.
Yeah.
So I wonder what these conversations in that house are like, and if it's sometimes it's Gillian's way of her brain like coming to terms with other things happening that she wished she could talk to her mum about.
Yeah.
But it's deep down, she knows what she needs to say and she knows what she needs to feel. But
Yeah.
she just needs to hear it from that person in her subconscious to get there.
That's interesting because, my mum, tells me a lot of things when I've done something wrong or, when I'm doing something right. And I guess to have that reassurance is probably like a really, really nice thing to hear, because sometimes we know we're doing a good job or we know we're doing a bad job, but hearing it from someone else you really trust and love, that's cool.
Yeah. So we'll move on to our next stream.
Okay.
Kind of drift away from that general topic.
Ooh,
when we have
okay.
the full hour-long radio show, we go a bit more in depth.
We'll go in depth into death.
We like to tear everything apart and really analyse what's going on in your brain.
We do, and we get really philosophical. Don't we? We really sit there and we're trying to think about the root of your problem. So when we're next on the air, please do send in your own thoughts, and it's kind of like free therapy. Is how I
it
think
really
about
is, yeah.
But from unqualified therapists. So,
You could be considered slightly qualified.
well, I don't really do much of my degree, but there we go.
But anyway, the next stream is titled The Great Pudsey Escape.
Very nice. Is it to do with children in need or the
Pudsey
dog from
Bear.
Britain's Got Talent?
It is to do with the Pudsey Bear.
Okay,
it is to
brilliant.
do with children in need.
Nice.
So we have a friend called Meg who was the station director of YSTV.
Miss you, Meg.
She worked on Children in Need this year, and one of my housemates gave me this dream. And the dream is Meg kidnapped us and chucked us into a Pudsey Bear maze in ITV studio, which is also funny because ITV doesn't run Pudsey Bear.
That's really weird, isn't it?
And the more you go into the maze to try, whether you're trying to escape, you can't because everything's closing up behind you. Pudsey is there.
Is
as
Pudsey
you go
evil
forward,
in
he
this?
didn't say, but it is this thing of everywhere you go is just Pudsey and there is no escape. And you just keep going deeper and deeper in.
That is the
with no way
weird
to get
thing
out.
about sort of characters that are all good.
Yeah.
Because, look at Mickey Mouse, for example. Never on screen has Mickey Mouse done anything disrespectful. I don't know. Maybe you could show me. But there's still people who are scared of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Disney or anywhere like that where...
No, okay, I have a complicated relationship. One, my mum got really upset at Disney films, so she didn't really make us watch them as kids. Every single person I knew at school who went to Disneyland got food poisoning, meaning I never wanted to go. Yeah.
Was that from the Paris one?
Yeah, from Paris.
Do they all eat in the same restaurant?
I don't know, but it was every single one of my friends who came back from Paris had food poisoning.
Oh my God.
So I was so put off going.
Amazing. But
yeah.
when I was a kid and we went to Disneyland Paris, it was amazing, but I never wanted to speak to any of the mascots. So I kind of get what Meg's saying about Pudsey here is that no characters that are walking around Disney are scary characters. They're all I
mean, in those big costumes though.
I know, out of proportion. Why is Robin Hood the same size as I don't know, a minion? Not that that's Disney. It makes no sense. Why are they all the same universal size? They're like Lego people. They're all the same size. Makes no sense. So I can see why it's a bit disconcerting.
Yeah. Anyway, we have another dream that we'll come back to later if we have some time.
I have a feeling like it.
Because I think it's a really fun story.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, that's been 2 of our write-ins. We don't just expect you to expose yourselves to us.
Is it our turn?
Yeah, it is our turn.
Okay.
So
Brilliant.
Tom, would you like to tell us about your dream?
I would. This is a very recent one, Beth. Yeah. This was, must have been 3 nights ago. I mean, we're coming to the end of our university careers, aren't we?
Yeah.
Which is a sad thing, and I guess we're all processing that right now. So hence why I think I'm getting dreams like this. Mm-hmm. I've been applying for some jobs.
Yeah.
Have you been doing the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess we're all in the same scenario where we're facing rejection and thinking about the workplace, all that kind of thing. But mine has been, I was in the floor of an office, but not just any office. It was basically, it had every single TV production thing you could think of. It was doing all of the shows, like Love Island, all these things. Just Love Island, that's the only thing on TV. And it had Radio 1, Virgin Radio, everything like that. Everything was on this one floor. And then, of course, all of the producers for those shows were on the same floor, and all of the presenters were on the same floor. And I'd come in for my first ever day of paid work. I got through the elevator, I looked down, and I was wearing a tracksuit. Everyone else is literally wearing dinner jackets. I don't know why. Everyone's got bow ties
Yeah,
on.
that's a little bit overdressed as
Isn't
well.
it just? Isn't it just? And I look down. I'm wearing a navy tracksuit bottoms that are so baggy, which is really bad to start with. And then everyone seems okay with that, so I think I've got away with it.
Yeah.
I sort of take a sigh of relief. And then I'm told to go and collect Steve Carell, Gru from Despicable Me, from reception and bring him up to go on a show somewhere. So I go down to reception, I go through the doors, I greet him, and he just says, no, I won't speak to you. Not dressed like that. And he sends me upstairs to get someone else to go and sort of
He's not
chaperone.
wearing a tracksuit.
Exactly. And I get fired.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay, first question, because it's always my go-to. Do you remember what colour your tracksuit was?
Navy.
Oh, so that is a high-class colour.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
It's not like a grey. I feel like a
Like-
grey.
You could get away, because grey is clearly sweatpants.
Yeah.
With navy blue, you could pretend they're like stretchy jeans.
But they had like zippers on and everything, and like little zip
So
pockets.
do they make noise?
Yeah. And they were sort of
Ooh.
baggy. So,
Tom.
like MC Hammer vibe kind of thing.
As much as you acknowledge that it's kind of because of stress already,
Yeah.
the fact that it's like the noisy type of trouser as
know.
well. Are you okay? Do you?
I don't know, Beth.
Because it kind of implies that you think no matter what, like, because also it's not like you're wearing an outfit to stand out.
Yeah.
It's quite a casual outfit, but even within that casuality, if that's a word,
Well, let's coin it right now. That's the one. Keep going.
you like think you're going to make noise. And you
Yes.
think you're going to take up space.
Well, I don't want people to like look at me too harshly in my
yeah,
first couple of
but
days
you
of
also
work.
can't control it because even though you feel that way, you put on that outfit that's
Exactly.
going to catch attention, isn't appropriate, and makes noise.
Have you ever had a dream where you've gone somewhere naked by accident?
Yeah,
Because I've never had one of those, so this is my equivalent of that.
I get so stressed about
About wearing clothes.
yeah.
Well, you've done a good job today, Beth.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
God stop me.
Yeah, especially
it
if we're in a bed. That would have been really weird. So, well done, Beth. Great.
It was more because it's like I will have full dreams, and it's very much the cliche of it's like, oh, I'm in an exam hall, and I don't even do a subject where I have to take exams. So
Oh, you're so lucky.
right,
You're so lucky. Honestly.
but yeah, no. So especially with Steve Carell, does he mean something to you?
No. I had to revise his name before I came on. Literally, it was just his face, and I literally just know him from Despicable Me because I've never watched The Office.
Fair. You should watch Crazy Stupid Love. He's really fun in that.
Well, I know he's also like the 40-year-old virgin or something, but I've never
Yeah.
seen that. Yeah.
good.
So he's one I'll go and investigate. Maybe there's something in his
yeah,
work.
or maybe it's because it's that feeling of being underprepared or unfamiliar.
Do you want me
and-
to tell you what I think it might be?
Yeah.
I watched the new trailer for Despicable Me,
That's why.
and that might have been what it was.
I'm going to choose to take the analysis route
Please,
here.
no, please.
And I'm
please.
going to sell you, I think you're worried about not being prepared in your interviews. I think maybe get a nice new shirt. Maybe do some reading on the people you've maybe met at the SRAs.
Yes.
And that will maybe soothe your mind and your dreams.
So really, it's about preparation, is what you prescribe for me, Dr. Beth.
I think
Yeah.
you're just a bit worried, and you can't stop that worry, but you can maybe just try and ease it a little.
I do worry about a lot of stuff, So I guess I've been pretty worry-free recently. So I guess they're coming through in my dreams now. So maybe I'll have some more worry fuel for the next show.
Maybe we're gonna have to do my dream quite quickly.
Oh.
However,
Sorry.
no, because this is why when we said 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, this ain't
We
gonna
rattle on,
work.
didn't we?
Because there's so much to say. Like
Yeah.
when in like our first episode when we had dreams, we took apart every single like plot beat, every color, every item. So just to really quickly summarize my dream,
Oh.
I'm gonna wait for the graphic to pop up because. Because there were two names, Manchester Madness.
Yeah.
Basically, I had a dream that someone in my house, their parents were actually secretly spies, and we
Who?
got you
Which-
guess, no. Right?
You can't say that, Beth. That's really bad.
I
No,
know.
I'm joking, you shouldn't say
No,
it.
send in which flatmate you think it is.
Yeah.
Her parents were super spies, and our house got broken into, and then we got kidnapped and taken to Manchester, and we had to band together, and we're locked in this really fancy hotel to escape this home alone out the hotel to escape these people. And she's like was trained by super spies, even though she's not one.
We took way too long on my dream. What the heck is that?
Well,
Right, if you're watching right now, chuck in the comments what you think that is all about, because that is some next level anxiety.
we have an episode on Saturday 17th, so next
We'll
Saturday.
go through it then.
Yeah, we'll analyse it then.
Yeah.
Send in your thoughts. Until then, do you have the pen currently? No, I do.
Hey,
We're
I
going
don't
to
have
play
pen.
Dream, Truth or Dare.
Thank you.
So you're going to hold up truth or false.
Truth or dare in the bed. Okay. Right.
True or false to these questions.
Okay.
And you know what? If you're watching along, comment as well. Tell us what you think it is in the comments.
All right.
You have more in-depth dreams or longer dreams in the morning.
I'm going to say that's true. And I have a feeling that's true because I always remember what I've just dreamed about after I wake up.
It is true.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are more likely to remember your dreams on the weekend.
Really? Is that because we sleep in?
Oh, I don't know. True or false?
Oh. I just took it.
You
Everything
tell
say,
me,
Beth, I
Tom.
just take as gospel.
Yeah. Good way to live your life.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that then. Yeah, true, because I feel like we're all sleeping in, we're a little bit less stressed.
You got the reason exactly right.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, it's because you're more likely to have a lie-in.
Oh, wow.
So when you have a lie-in, you have REM, the lighter
deep
levels.
kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, is that REM deep or light? I really should know that.
I now
That'd be
feel like
great.
I'm wrong because you're the second person to tell me it's deep today.
I think
but-
REM's rapid eye movements.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
when you're
rapid
going,
eye movement.
"Whoa,"
Yeah.
dreaming.
So you're more likely to have a lie-in, so you're more likely to be in lucid state, so you can remember your dream.
Yeah.
Then, okay,
Oh, here we go. Right.
men are more likely to have nightmares.
Gosh, that's really stumped me. Can I phone a friend?
Yes.
Have you ever had how many? Have you ever had a nightmare? How many nightmares do you have, Beth? Like a lot, or like do you think more than
Well, because the
average?
thing is, we've discussed how many weird dreams I have about zombie apocalypse. I find it really hard to classify my dreams because I have so many dreams about horror movies. Like, you could
Yeah.
count my flatmate and getting kidnapped as a bad dream in a way.
So what we're gonna do?
like,
We're gonna say that if I have fewer bad dreams than you do, nightmares, I'm gonna say that men have fewer. Yes, is that? So I'm gonna say, was that true?
So-
yeah, men have fewer. Is that true? Is that-
you're right, but it's false.
oh, so
Yeah.
Men have fewer. Yeah.
Women are more likely to have bad dreams.
That's fascinating,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's also men are more likely to dream about using weapons. Like, not necessarily full violence, but like have dreams that feature weapons.
What, like happy dreams?
I don't know, just the
So
fact
they don't
of
have to
like,
be
oh
nightmares,
yeah,
just
no.
like, I've got a dagger and a catapult. You know? I don't know.
Kind of tied to this because I want to make a point, so I'm going to jump a few. You're more likely to dream about sex when lying face up.
I feel like we covered this on the show, Beth. This one.
Yeah.
I feel like we might have. I'm gonna say that's true. That's one of the weirdest ones we've learned
It is
about.
false. You are more likely to have a sex dream when you are lying face down. And the reason this links to what I was just saying is sex dreams happen more frequently when you're face down. However, there is also a correlation between dreams where you're suffocated, dreams where you're swimming, and dreams where you're handed tools. Not to like do anything with, just you're more likely to have a dream where you're handed a tool if you're lying face down.
And these are all sex dreams.
No. Just that's the thing of like when people were flagging, oh yeah, when you're lying face down, you don't always have a sex dream. You might be handed a spanner or something.
You just set that one up, Beth. Okay. Right. Brilliant.
Anyway, so that's our facts for today.
Fantastic.
Yeah, right.
I've learned
Great
so
way to
much.
end off.
Brilliant.
Again, we're back on the 17th of February at 7 p.m. on URY. Make sure to tune in if you want to hear Tom analyse my dream and guess which one of my flatmates' parents are secretly spies.
Brilliant. Sorry we didn't have time for that. I got so invested in Steve Carell.
Well,
Who'd have
because
thought?
that actually has probably deeper meaning. Like, I'm
No,
not sure
yours is messed up.
But yeah, so we hope you've enjoyed the show. The rest of the evening, if you head over to, don't head over to URY, stay on YSTV and
stay
watch
here.
Confusion/University Challenge, followed by What's for Tea, where they're going to be doing a mukbang, and Untitled.exe. If you listened to TV on the radio on the TV earlier, you will have heard Corey break down how that title is not exactly how it actually works when it comes to merging audio
Intriguing.
and video. Yeah, Untitled just keep changing their name. They're really trying to be special.
They really are, aren't they? But hey, we've got to allow them to have it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well,
I'm excited for What's for Tea.
Yeah.
Because people have been sending in stuff apparently, and I
sent
always
in
get a bit
some.
hungry. What did you send in?
I sent in quite a few pictures. I sent in dinner and I sent in breakfast.
Beautiful. Well, I look forward to seeing that, Beth.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been the Dream Team.
Thank you. We're gonna go to sleep now.